Hello everyone. Just noticed it's Friday, February 2nd, 2018. It's been exactly 2 years since this channel came online, and I thought I would take a few moments to reflect on the past 2 years and everything that's happened. Originally this channel wasn't even going to exist. I had a Facebook page called Living in a Van that I created probably about 6-7 years ago, and the page was just there to promote living in a van, the lifestyle of living in a van, the choices to living in a van, and also living off-grid and being self-sufficient. I created that page, the Facebook page called Living in a Van, thinking that it was a group, but found out there's a difference between a Facebook page and a Facebook group. On a Facebook page, one person kind of runs it, a person or a company, and then on a group though, you can have people all, able to make comments and stuff equally. So when I found that out, I went ahead and created the group called Living in a Van, which I was administrator for the last 2 years, but just stepped down in recent times because of all the controversy and stuff I created by trying to implement a rule that was causing a lot of havoc in the group. Well, if you've been following along on this series on the blogs here on YouTube, then you know I don't really have time to be dealing with that stuff right now because I've got other issues more pressing, like just trying to stay alive. Okay, so long story short, I created the Facebook group called Living in a Van, and decided to go ahead and create a YouTube channel called Living in a Van to support the Facebook group. The idea of creating this group was to show videos and to show the process of actually living in a van, not the I guess the glamorous one where you have pretty people and pretty vans with lots of money and whatnot and you're making money and stuff, but showing the real life realities of living in a van. And some people don't really like to see this because living in a van isn't all glamour. It's actually kind of hard. Those of you who have followed along with me know that initially the build of Little Blue 2 wasn't even on the current Little Blue. It was named Blue 2. It was Blue 1, which is a lighter blue color, and it was a town and country. And that was built not because I needed to live in it. It was built because I wanted to show people what could be done on a budget of about $300 and 1 or 2 days to convert a van for full-time living if you had to live in it. And I built it specifically for travel with my then girlfriend, but we ended up breaking up. So we broke up and I ended up having to actually live in the van, and that's how we ended up with the process of this channel becoming a vlog versus just a how-to channel with only one playlist called the build out of the van, where we built Little Blue 2 from the remnants of Little Blue 1, because I had been in a pretty bad accident. An older man, I think he was like 87 years old, slammed into me at full speed while I was at a stoplight and crushed Little Blue 1, and my back got injured and I couldn't walk. I was actually not able to walk. And long story short, after a lot of OT and just doing OT and trying to be, get back physically active, I'm able to walk now. My back still hurts, but at least I'm able to walk. Knowing what it was like before, where I pretty much needed like a walker. I had to push myself around with a cart to hold myself up. I'm very grateful to still be alive and walking. But anyhow, this channel was originally created as a how-to channel to just build out a van, and that was it. But because of the circumstances that life took, I ended up making it a vlog, not so much about, living in a van, but about me and the process and what's been going on. And those of you who were here from the beginning, you know all of this. You know the full story, and there's been parts of it that have been removed for safety reasons and personal reasons because I want to move on. So I appreciate all of those of you who have tuned in. Those of you who are new tuning in, I thank you for joining us. The channel itself has grown quite rapidly, at least, in my eyes. I know some channels grow really, really fast. I've seen some of those channels grow. This one was never intended to be initially a monetized YouTube channel. I created it to support the Living in a Van group and show people how to build out a van and live in it, then there were questions on the group about how to make income while living in a van. And some people had mentioned, you know, online jobs or creating a YouTube channel. So I decided to look into the process of creating a channel and getting it monetized and going through everything to see how long it would take and how much you would earn, and, you know, what the possibilities were. I never intended for this channel to be a source of income for me. It was just an experiment. But over the course of everything that happened, it ended up becoming my income, my primary income, at certain points within the past 2 years because I didn't have another job. So the channel's been a lifeline and a lifesaver for me. And at this point now, I'm looking at the potential to try to make it an actual job, even though payout right now has been very low. You know, I'm making less than minimum wage on the channel and putting in a lot of work. But the potential is there. And considering my circumstances, some people don't understand why I don't just get a job. I've been trying, but there's certain jobs I can't take for certain reasons. Some viewers who might have joined in late ask why I can't teach or why I won't go back to teaching. You really need to tune in from the very beginning, maybe from the first playlist of the vlog, which explains to you my current situation and why I'm here taking jobs like selling knives at a knife gig at Sam's Club instead of working as a teacher, you know. So there's a lot of backstory that can be caught up on by following the vlog from the beginning, because if you're coming in later, you're asking stuff that's already been answered, and, you know, I don't want to, it's complicated, is all I'll say. You can look at the old videos which answer it in detail, but it tells you everything about why we're here right now and why we're happen to be at Sam's Club right now selling knives. But I do want to thank all the viewers for staying tuned all this time, for encouraging me to maintain the channel. There were times when the channel, you know, was ready to be let go because I just didn't have the energy or the time. And, you know, it's a lot of work to keep the channel going. But because of encouragement and support from the viewers, I decided to keep the channel going. And some of you question, you know, why I would go out and live out in the yurt at the compound. That was because at that time I had no income and needed to keep the channel going. So I decided to go ahead and do a little series of survival out there in the woods, and it was real. You know, it wasn't like it was staged and I could go to an apartment or something. I was actually planning on potentially living out there. But the way things worked out, I ended up getting the knife gig, which rescued me. That was like a year ago, a little bit over a year ago. And because of all the drama and stuff that occurs with this job, I ended up leaving. But now I'm back again. And I know some of you seem like you're actually upset, or, you know, that I'm back. But it's actually paying the bills right now. And it isn't a permanent career move for me. I am seeking better employment. And also trying to keep the YouTube going. Working this gig allows me to film, you know, like when I'm on my break, like right now, because I'm waiting for the customer base to reset. So I can't do another show until the people that I just did the show to have cleared out. But it also allows me to travel around the state. You know, ideally I would be traveling across the entire United States, but because of this job, I get to travel and get some money, but I'm not traveling everywhere I want to. I'll only be traveling throughout Florida, which I've been doing. If you've been following the series, you know, when I'm in a different town or a different area, I try to do things that are there so viewers can kind of see different parts of Florida, at least, if not the entire United States. And that's pretty much it. In 2 years' time, this channel managed to grow from a little tiny channel to one that's actually pretty decent sized. We're not as large as I still think we need to be in order to make this a full-time job. I think you're going to need at least 20 to 30,000 viewers, you know, subscribers, to actually make this a feasible career move, to be a, quote, professional YouTuber. But for now, it is still a little bit of spending money and actually going to be financing my honeymoon. So some of you are saying I need to get a job and finance that another way. I do have a job, and I'm using that to pay the bills and child support. You know, that pretty much wipes me out with the pay that I earn from this job. And YouTube money is actually being used right now to continue making up some of that difference, as well as plans for using it to finance my honeymoon. So if nothing else, YouTube is helping to pay for that. Of course, we also have the viewers who have been kind enough to actually send money, which I'm not asking for. I hate it when, you know, we talk about this stuff and people accuse me of being an e-beggar or whatever. I don't think I've ever begged anyone for money on here, but I will tell you that there are viewers here who are extremely kind and can see a situation without anybody even saying anything, and because they're in a position where they can help, they do extend the helping hand. So I think I'm fortunate in that regards. I have viewers on here who are, I think, the best viewers on any of the YouTube channels. A lot of people actually go out of their way on this channel alone, and even in the Living in a Van group, to protect me and to fight for me when people start attacking because they really don't have a clue or just mean-spirited and have a mean heart. So I do appreciate that. I appreciate my viewers. I appreciate you for tuning in right now. I appreciate you for encouraging me and supporting this channel and making what it is. This channel would not be here still if it hadn't been for the viewers. So at our 2-year anniversary, I thank you so very much for essentially changing my life. You know, this is something I never foresaw. I'm normally a very, very private person, and broadcasting my life on YouTube was not something I intended. But for now, it's what we're doing, and I don't know how much longer we'll keep doing this. But for now, we're still living in a van and still on YouTube. Take care, everybody.